Hi everyone, I'm Charlie Wang, and I'll be presenting my TE440 final project. So my thesis was I was curious in whether there was a correlation between road conditions versus the number and frequency of traffic accidents in Chicago and in general the traffic in Chicago, and whether these are influenced by the types of streets and as well as the location it may be in. So my hypothesis was the worse the road conditions are, the more likely there are to be accidents in Chicago. And why am I researching this? Well, Chicago ranks first in traffic in the United States and second in the world after London. So I was really interested in seeing where and when the worst impacts of traffic was and its correlation to traffic accidents that might happen. And why this is important is, as more companies invest in Chicago, adjustments and decisions will need to be made as people move into the city to alleviate these type of problems. So how am I going about this? Well, I gathered 200,000 data points from a daily traffic data set, as well as an additional 10,000 data sets from a traffic crashes through the City of Chicago dataset portal. And using these data sets, I scraped and manipulated both data sets to find the relevant data, as well as using number libraries to display them. All this was done on a Google Colab notebook, and I used a number of libraries from Socrata to grab the most recent couple months worth of data using the public API that the Chicago Data Portal provides, as well as GeoPandas, Pandas, Matplotlib, and Seaborn for various analysis and visualization. On my first graph here, I want to take a look at the number of buses that usually roam around the city across different locations as well as different times of day. So as you can see here, you can see that clearly that the peak hours are usually around 7 to 8 a.m. as well as 3 to 5 p.m. And the Chicago Loop is by far a lot busier than other areas of the region. As you can see here, this has a similar correlation to the first graph, where you can see there's an uptick of crashes during peak hours. And that is maybe an area that we might want to look in for the city of Chicago in terms of being able to alleviate these type of problems that might occur. And so I wanted to dive more into these crashes and see what type of conditions are these crashes happening, whether that be weather or lighting related. As you can see here, most of these crashes are occurring in clear and daylight conditions. And then also wanted to look at what type of roads are these accidents happening. As you can see here, they're mostly by far happening on not divided traffic way types. And I also decided to map all the accidents that I gathered from the data points and map them onto a map of Chicago. And as you can see here, they are a lot more congested within downtown Chicago, the tourist loop area, and but also is a lot more spread out throughout the other regions. So the outcome of this is that there is a lot higher frequency of accidents, usually in the morning before work or afternoon when people leave work, and there's a noticeable uptick in crashes relative to the hours preceding and after. And it was a bit surprising to see that the most number of crashes occurred at first in clear daylight conditions by far to me, but that can be from a time when people are more likely to be driving in the city, leading to an increase or more likelihood of crashes. And in worse type of conditions like weather related or lighting related, people are more likely to stay home, thus reducing those chances of accidents overall. In conclusion, after doing all my research, I feel that procedures should be put in place to help alleviate these type of traffic problems, so that we can reduce the number of crashes that occur. And to do this, we can expand city transportation and make it more accessible to everyone. And whether that be adding bike lanes or walkable neighborhoods and streets, or investing in modern and sophisticated traffic control systems. And that's it for my presentation. Thank you everyone for listening.